Hey guys, I am Lana. This is from Corporate Crystals, and we're back for another video. This one's going to be, it's going to be about the occult, but we're going to kickstart it by talking about demons, I guess. You know what I mean? Like when I got to the 7th dimension and up, it became very clear to me that there were situations occurring within my reality that were proactively trying to keep me off my path, period. Sometimes those can be, well, let me back up. So every human being is walking around in a meat suit, right? This thing. But underneath, in the energetics of everybody, within the DNA, because within our DNA, we have energy. Our soul is intertwined within our physical vessel, okay? So the energetics behind the meat suit, that is where things start getting a little tricky. And that's where, like, when we talk about on our ascension journey, we have DNA activations happening within our body. That way, when you like meet your twin and you go through an activation, it's your physical vessel that starts like Kundalini awakening stuff, right? It is your energy is intertwined with your physical vessel. So when you see a human being, you can't tell with your eyes, most of us, if they are angelic or a fallen angelic, because we are all one within God's kingdom, okay? But God, within the kingdom, God source, there are energetics of duality. There's good and bad. The energetics of duality exist not only in our reality, but also within us as human beings. So there are people that you are, I'm sure you guys have experienced this, that are in your reality, and their main goal on your ascension journey is literally to keep you held back. They have fallen angelic DNA, so they are operating from what we'll call it the Antichrist impulse, right? The demonic impulse, an impulse of the dark, because they themselves internally, energetically or physically or whatever, are operating within that impulse. Now, that's not to shame them. They can absolutely make different decisions and regenerate their DNA to get back onto the Christos organic path. But what happens is when your physical vessel and your lineage and whatever, like a lot of us incarnate into specific families in order to heal the lineage energetically, okay? Because it has to do with our DNA as well, right? So when your lineage has been operating under the Antichrist impulse for so long, then of course you're just going to hand that to the next generation. So when we're talking about generational curses and breaking them, what we're talking about is someone stepping up to break the energetics, which then alters the DNA of the lineage, the generational, am I saying that right? Yeah, breaking the generational curses of their lineage. So rather than DNA and energetics of that lineage continuing to operate from a specific impulse, meaning, making darker decisions or not able to kind of like break through behavioral patterns to get back onto their divine blueprints, keeping the lineage stuck, things like that. Typically what happens is when enough generations do that, you're actually degenerating the DNA of that lineage. So the physical bodies of the lineage is also being deteriorated. And when you're degenerating your energy and your body, the reason it's degenerating is because you are no longer on your aligned path with God. Therefore, you are no longer getting source energy, life force energy. You're no longer connected to the Christos divine blueprint, right? And when your genetics and your lineage are not connected to that, then naturally that lineage, the DNA within it is going to degenerate. So many words. So what does it look like when you are regenerating, when you're actually connected to the Christos within, God's source within, and you are connected to your life force energy? You are connected to God on your path. You are making decisions, conscious decisions aligned to your Christ impulse, not antichrist impulse. You're operating from the light, not the dark, however you want to look at it. Then you are aligned to life source energy, God's source. And because of that, your DNA is altered as well in a positive way for yourself and a lineage. This also ties into why light workers are going to be having babies, because the DNA, when it's connected to life force energy, new earth babies will be babies that are connected by two purified beings who are both connected to God's source, purified in energetics and, physical vessel, come together, create a baby. The baby is now a divine baby, purified and connected to life force energy. So why do I say all that? I say it because there are, human beings, souls, however we want to look at it. There are people who are not connected to, they're fallen angels. Everyone has angelic DNA. Some just have fallen angelic DNA because they've chosen the other side. And that's their free will decision. They can totally do that. It is what it is. But those individuals exist. And those individuals in our reality absolutely are out there. And they're kind of like their impulse, their natural energy gravitates towards the dark and will influence others to come towards the dark. That's like kind of how it works. So there are light workers, there are people who are connected to God's source energy, and those are people who are on the Christ impulse, Christos impulse, however you want to say it. And within that, they are helping to get people towards the light. Whether it be through their own consciousness and their own decisions to get towards the light and inspire others, or simply by like truly doing work to get people towards the light. Then there are people who do the exact opposite. And those are the individuals who are trying to keep twins apart. Those are the individuals who are creating businesses in like the phantom matrix stuff to kind of keep people stuck, whether they know it or not. They could just be operating out of that impulse, right? Those are like when we see people kind of like messaging for readings, like in a kind of scammy way, those people are very likely operating from the dark impulse, whether they're conscious of it or not. But their energetics are aligned to that impulse. Therefore, that is the team they are playing on. That is the team they are like, helping navigate people towards, right? That's why it's very important to use your own discernment. That all being said, the main reason for this video is to talk about the occult. Okay, so when we use the term occult, it has within our society a negative connotation to it, and it's not negative. I'm going to do some digging with you to show. But what is negative is anyone who is energetically operating within the Antichrist or the dark impulse. It doesn't matter what their belief system looks like. It doesn't matter. I mean, let's be, there's certain rituals and shit that people just straight up should not be doing that is absolutely satanic, absolutely like Luciferian in nature. I get it. And that's not what we're talking about. What I am talking about is the judgment that is put on people for not having the same belief system as one another, right? And this is human nature. It's human nature to say like, my political party is better than yours, or my religion is the right one and yours isn't, or whatever. It's just human nature. But that is separation consciousness. That is part of what we are here to solve. And that is part of what is dissolving currently. And that is part of what twins are coming in to heal. So I operate within the occult. And honestly, it feels exactly like what I should be doing. Like my life was so freaking dark. It didn't make any sense as to like why it was always like that. And now it does. Like when what's that Bane quote where it's like, I was born in the darkness, something like that. Like that is literally how it feels. Okay. So of course I would gravitate towards the occult. That is exactly where I am supposed to be on my path. I am someone who incognito my entire life has operated from the darkness to study it, to learn it, to know it. The good news is I had a pure heart while I did that. And I was, you know, for the most part, staying out of trouble. So as I was studying the darkness, it was in preparation for my mission work. And my mission work is to unearth darkness and bring it to the light. Okay, so now let me tell you what occult means. Right here. Okay, let's start here. Okay, so when you look at the word occult and just like Google search it, I use DuckDuckGo, but you get it. It is of relating to or dealing with supernatural or magical influences, agencies, or occurrences. Available only to the initiate, secret, or mysterious. Beyond the realm of human comprehension, hidden from view, detectable only by microscopic examination or chemical analysis. Not accompanied by readily detectable signs or symptoms. Okay, so that's like the definition, according to, what is this? American Heritage Dictionary. So let's read this. The occult. The occult, in the broadest sense, is a category of esoteric supernatural beliefs and practices which generally fall outside the scope of organized religion and science, encompassing phenomena involving otherworldly agencies such as magic and mysticism and their varied spells. It can also refer to supernatural ideas like extrasensory perception and parapsychology, aka psychic abilities. So let me just stop for it. Like, obviously I'm a cult. I didn't even like have a choice. Okay, this, like, my spiritual awakening happened and boom, I'm in the occult. Okay, so that's kind of like not fair to like have this like label out there that human beings automatically like think is dark. And then I go through my awakening, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, and I'm just like naturally there because that is what the energetics within my body did, right? And like all of us have psychic abilities, every human being on the planet, every single one. So automatically knowing that all human beings have psychic abilities, and all, like, if anyone were to ever say that out loud, they're automatically, first of all, crazy, but second of all, in the occult. That's not fair. That's not true. So that in itself, we have to take the darkness into the light. If every human being on our planet has the ability for psychic abilities, whether they're aware of it or not, most of them are not, that means that every single human being would operate under the occult, according to the way our society currently views occult. Okay, so that is the first fallacy within occult studies, let's call it. Let's continue. Okay. Let's see, scroll right here. Okay, yeah, so it's talking about the Latin word. Where is it? Oh, sorry, I got lost. There it is. This one. Okay, so the Latin word for occult is occultus. Okay, what does that mean? First of all, it's feminine in nature, which I love because, you know, I'm feminine in nature. But it means concealed, covered, hidden, having been concealed, secret, secretly or covertly. Okay, so the Latin root of the word occult is referencing concealed, covered, hidden secrets. Okay, so like when we say the occult, our community views the occult in a negative light. And I don't blame them, because that's kind of like what the collective consciousness has thought for a very long time. And I also don't want to dispute, there are absolutely occult, like, because it's hidden, it's secret, it's whatever. There are people doing some wild shit, things they should not be doing, satanic Luciferian agendas, reptilian stuff, like the powers that be being some of the main ones, right? So people are thinking that they're labeling stuff occult when some of the biggest secrets that exist are the fact that the powers that be are some of the biggest players in this, right? So dig into yourself. But our collective consciousness has to shift on what occult means. It's not demonic, it's not satanic. Occult means darkness being brought to the light, hidden secrets, covert hidden things that have been concealed, and people operating within that realm to find the truth of it. Okay? That is what an occultist is. And I guess I just happen to be one of them, so I need to kind of like speak my truth a little bit. Okay, so let's go here. Occultism is the study of ancient knowledge or hidden wisdom that includes the awareness of the natural laws. To the spiritualist, truth seeker, or occultist, it is a study of truth, a deeper truth that exists beneath the surface of the material reality, is looking to the energy that exists behind it. It can involve such subjects as magic, astrology, spiritualism, extrasensory perception, and numerology. There's often a strong spiritual element in these studies and beliefs, and many experiencers are also occultists. And these philosophies are subjected to the choice and consent of the occultist that involves both service to self and service to others orientation. Let's see. Okay. However, the word occult is somewhat generic in that almost everything that is not claimed a teaching by any of the major world religions can be considered the occult by religious groups. Some religious denominations view the occult as being anything supernatural or paranormal which is not achieved by or through the man-made version of God that is described in the Bible or other religious teachings, and therefore considered to be the work of an opposing and malevolent entity, so that the word occult has negative connotations for many people. However, this is not an accurate understanding of the real meaning of occult or hidden knowledge of how the energy matrix works. Thus, it has come to popularity. Thus, it has come to be popularly used to mean knowledge of the paranormal, as opposed to science or the knowledge of the measurable, or knowledge meant only for certain people, or knowledge that must be kept hidden. Okay, so I wanted to say this because this is really important. Where we're headed, we're going to have a lot of conversations about religion and some of the false religious teachings, some of the fallacies within religion, some of the, lies. Let's just call it what it is. They're going through this ascension journey. You learn, and I'm sure you guys can relate, that a lot of what you have been told, if you have a religious upbringing, and it's not, it's not necessarily anyone's fault. This goes millennia back, right? Like this is very, very old. But there is misinformation, and the misinformation just kind of like the telephone game, it just keeps getting bigger, right? Like keeps going, keeps getting bigger, keeps getting deeper, keeps whatever. But if we continue to call the occult demonic or satanic or whatever, then we are literally dismissing an entire amount of information, knowledge that we could have an open mind to and explore, potentially tap into for ourselves to actually like expand our consciousness, right? And that's why God has everyone on a variety of paths. That way we can all get a variety of knowledge and information and wisdom and share it with one another. Because there is truth within a lot of different things, but the truth is through God. The truth comes from within, through your connection with God. It does not come from a church. It does not come from a book. It does not come from anyone who does not have a connection to God's source. And we all have one, but you have to activate it. You have to ascend on through your own consciousness, through your own physical vessel, in order to more deeply connect to God's source so you can get the information. The moment you transverse through the dimensions, you get information. It just naturally, it comes to you. It's part of the collective consciousness And when you're at each dimension, there is a kind of like consciousness, energetic within it. And so information starts becoming available to you. And you start seeing the fallacies. You start feeling or knowing what has been manipulated. And so it's just going to keep getting bigger, especially as we have like Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is about knowledge. I know. Aquarius is about the collective. And to have Pluto in there, it's also about like the future, and like evolution and stuff like that, or innovation. So to have Pluto in technology, to have Pluto there, we're going to get a lot of information hidden in the underworld, Pluto, brought out for the collective Aquarius to figure out. We're going to have a lot of Pluto secrets, hidden corruption, power issues, that the collective will find out. We also have Saturn in Pisces. Like, we've got this planetary ascension, and as this happens, people are going to realize that they have been told a lot of things, and not all of that was true, right? And especially like, well, let me not get into it. It's a different video, but you're picking up what I'm putting down, okay? So the point of this video is occult is not what we were told, right? Dig deeper. What does the word mean? Look to its root, the Latin root. It's talking about hidden or secretive information. And what does a light worker do? Light workers take darkness and bring light to the dark. Right? You got to go into the dark to see it before you can get to the light, both internally and externally. So, of course, light workers would operate within the occult. Not all of them, but some, right? And of course, within the occult, there are a lot of dark energies as well. That's why if you are someone who operates within the occult, then you yourself are initiated through a lot of darkness in preparation by God, initiated by God through your own vessel. So we have to understand that when people are initiated and God has them on mission and they themselves are on their Christos activated path through their divine blueprint by God, then they can be operating anywhere under any circumstance, because it's a dualistic reality, a dualistic time matrix, and God has people doing work for it, him, her, right? In every place, because guess what? There's darkness and light in every place. That's how it works. So we can't be taking a word, any word, and just like labeling it negative or labeling it dark. No, there's more to the story. There always is. There is always truth hidden in plain sight. You just have to be willing to have an open mind to look a little bit deeper into it. So that's my 2 cents on occult. It's mostly just having my own back, you know what I mean? Okay, cool. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.